Hi and welcome. I'm Amy Fipke and this is our 2 Live Tasty segment for Chicken Alfredo with Pancetta. Woo! Behind the camera I have the fabulous Ted Fipke. All right, and everything we're going to do today for our New Year's celebration is in our Instant Pot. So you see we have our lovely Instant Pot here. I'm going to put on the saute function. It's like Braille for me on this end, but that should heat that up. It's going to make a little happy beepy noise and it'll start heating up so I can saute the beginning part. Oop, there's the happy beepy. The beginning part of our chicken Alfredo with pancetta. Ooh. So if you're not familiar with pancetta, it's an Italian bacon. Everything's better with bacon, right? So it's Italian bacon. This is what pancetta looks like. It's got some little peppercorns in it, and it's just a beautiful thing. It tastes very good. I just wanted you to see what it looks like when you get it sliced. You can certainly get it in whole pieces, but I took it and I chopped it up so I can saute it today. Now I'm gonna oil my pot this with avocado oil. That's what I have in this lovely little thing here. Learned this trick from my friend Lisa. You just put avocado oil in a spray bottle, and I'm gonna look at it, make sure I'm getting it all in the pot there, just so I can see really well. We just don't want everything to stick, and this has nothing in it but avocado oil, which has a high smoke point, so it doesn't oxidize at the high temperatures we use. Now that feels nice and hot in there, so this should make a nice little sizzly sound when we put it in. Ah, there it is. Nothing like bacon getting going in a pan. Yeah, we're just gonna pop that all in there. There we go. So I said about a ½ pound. So with this lovely pancetta, I'm gonna fry it up and then I'll be taking it out because we're gonna use this as a garnish on top of our chicken Alfredo today. So you just wanna make this nice and crispy. There's the pot going, so everything's gonna happen in here. Even the pasta will go in here and cook up in the Instant Pot. So while that's cooking, I'll tell you what we're gonna add next, of course, is garlic. Smell that garlic. I have probably a little over a clove of chopped garlic. You can add more if you like, but you know, it's our New Year's Eve celebration, so maybe I don't want too much garlic. I got a couple of tablespoons of butter here that I'm gonna add in. And then we'll deglaze this pan. Woo, we like that sound. With some lovely wine. Now this is a rosé. Normally I would use a white wine, but I didn't have any on hand today, but I had this rosé. It's similar to white. It's not too dry, it's not too sweet. Let's check. It's just right. That's right. We'll cook off the alcohol and, well, my spittle while we're at it when we put it all in there. So we have our pancetta. It looks, oh, it smells great. Looks like it's all pretty browned. We want this nice and brown and crispy. I'm gonna be taking this out and putting it aside because it's gonna be our garnish on top. Now you could mix it in, but I like it better as a nice crispy garnish on top of my my pasta. Let me just take, smells really good. Take a quick peek at that. All right, I'm gonna start getting that out of there. So I'm gonna leave this on. Hold on to my pot here while I take out our beautiful pancetta. I'm just gonna set that aside. Oh yeah, that looks good. And here we go. Should have had a slotted spoon. Slotted spoon. For those of you who might remember Into the Woods, you have to be a musical theater buff for that. Who used the line in the show? A slotted spoon doesn't hold much soup. Can anybody guess? Yeah, there's only one person here to guess. I don't know if he has any idea.
Mom!
There you go, Jack's mother.
Jack's mother.
He's got it. You got that right. Jack wasn't very bright. All right, that's good. So I've got most of that out that I'll use as our garnish. So to this, I'm gonna add my garlic just to get out the rawness. We've still got this on saute. Oh, garlic. And we're gonna toss in our butter. We'll give that a quick saute and toss. And then remember, I talked about using the wine to deglaze the pan. So what the wine will do is get all the nice brown bits off the bottom so it flavors things. You need about a ½ cup of wine. This holds about a cup, so we'll just pour some nice wine in there. If you had white wine, it'd be fine. I had rosé today. And while that deglazes the pan, we'll have a little bit of the rest of it. Just adds a lovely flavor to our mix. There we go. A little for the pot, a little for the cook. There we go. Now I'll talk about while that's deglazing, we want our wine to kind of cook down a bit. It cooks off the alcohol as you just give it a moment to deglaze. And since I'm talking about deglazing in an Instant Pot, if you saute or brown anything, you want to make sure you deglaze the pan for two things. One is for flavor, and the other is you want to make sure that none of those brown bits are stuck to the bottom of the pot, because then it won't pressurize, and then there's nothing instant about it, is there? It's coming to a nice little simmer. There we go. So we need some liquids because we're going to be putting our pasta directly in here. So I have a cup and a half of water here. You could use chicken broth, but I don't like the flavor of chicken broth in my Alfredo, so I'm just using wine and water. Water and wine. That sounds familiar. It's looking at Ted there. It's got a nice little smile. So we'll add water, and then I have a whole cup of heavy cream here. Now I'm lucky enough to live in a nice rural farm area, and I got this from one of our local farmers. So it's a nice local cream from Ronnie Brook Farm. So that's lovely, but whatever heavy cream you can find is fine. So there's our liquid. So we have about 2 cups between the water and the wine. And then we have another cup of liquid with our heavy cream. So it's about 3 cups of liquid. I'm just giving that a nice stir. Now to this, I'm gonna add a few things. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of kosher salt that I have here just to flavor it up. Now we're gonna put Parmesan in later, and that's pretty salty, so I don't want too much. And I've ground some pepper up here, so about a half a teaspoon of ground pepper. And then when I do a cream dish, I like to put a little tiny bit of freshly ground nutmeg in there. Just gives a little background flavor. You don't need much. So I have one I have started here. It comes in a little thing there, nice big whole round things of nutmeg. So you don't need much, just a little sprinkling. Gives you a nice little flavor in there. I'm gonna put this aside. I might need some more salt for later. My garlic cloves, garlic. All right. So let's give that a stir. There we go. All right, now I still have this on saute, which I'm gonna take off in a bit, but I'm gonna add my pasta. So we're gonna do a little layer effect here. I wanna make sure my pasta gets nice and submerged in this. So what I'm using today is a gluten-free pasta because I'm gluten-free. Now this one is from Bio Nature, and Bio Nature, of course, is organic, which I love, but they make a nice pasta that's gluten-free that stands up to things. If you just use a rice pasta, I find that they get real mushy and it's not like real pasta. This tastes like regular real pasta. Ted eats it all the time. And this one has, they've changed it a little, but this one has rice in it and lentils, which are really good for you. So the combo, it just gives it a nice firmness to it that you don't get with plain rice pasta. Now this is a 12-ounce container, but I only need 8 ounces. So I pulled out 4 and put them aside for another dish. Now when you're adding pasta to the Instant Pot that's long like this, now this is linguine. Couldn't find any fettuccine that's gluten-free. You're gonna have to break it in half, which I hate to do, but otherwise it won't set in our liquid and get all nice and cooked up the way we need it. So I'm just gonna take about half of this, maybe a quarter of it, because you wanna make sure it's moved about in the pot so it doesn't stick together. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that on. You can see I'm just moving it about in there. So we sprinkle on our linguine. If I find gluten-free fettuccine, I'll try that next time. But linguine is a nice flat spaghetti-like pasta. It's not quite as wide as fettuccine, but it works just fine, and it's got that eeny sound to it, so we like it. Now I'm kind of mixing this up a little bit, but I'm gonna give this a stir. So I make sure that all my pasta is underwater there, or under the water and wine and cream, because I want to make sure that this all cooks but doesn't get stuck together. I've done spaghetti in the Instant Pot, and sometimes it sticks a little, so you kind of want to move it about so they're not just like all next to each other. So they've got, ooh, I'm making a splashy mess, but that's okay. We'll clean it up, or, well, Ted will. There you go. I'm the cook. He's the bottle washer. There you go.
Oh.
All right. Oh, that already smells so good. Bacon and garlic. Who could have asked for anything more? All right. So at this point, I'm going to turn off this saute function, which is all the way over here. It's like Braille again. So let me just make sure that went off of there. Oh, let's turn it off. That's the off. Now we have an off signal. So that's good because we don't want to cook it too much just yet, but it did get the pasta started a bit, so I'll make sure that it's hopefully not sticking together. And I have lots of butter and of course bacon grease, so that should keep the pasta from sticking as well. There we go. All right, so next up, I have some beautiful spinach from our local farm, the Berry Patch. It's beautiful. They grow this year-round in their greenhouses, and I'm not going to use this whole bit, but I am going to put spinach in here. You know, I like my leafy greens, plus it gives us a bit of color, no doubt. All this green here. I'd say that's a good amount of spinach. I think there's probably a pound here, so that's probably about 5 ounces or so of spinach. It will definitely cook down. And I just wanted to put it out here so you could see how lovely it is. The people at the Berry Patch, I'm just going to give this a little tear so it's not all in one big piece. They grow stuff year-round. Another segment I'm going to do is steaming their honey nut squash, which is just sweet and beautiful. Oh my gosh. So what else did I get there? Oh, raspberries this year, and some local yogurt. I made some frozen yogurt. We'll show you that as well. All right, so this is going to be a layered effect. So I'm just going to lay the spinach on top of the pasta. That will all wilt down in the cooking process and give us our leafy green. Ted loves it when I add leafy greens, but spinach goes really well with cream for some reason. And then the last thing I have here is my chicken. So this is about a pound of chicken. This was 2 pretty large chicken breasts. I cut them on a diagonal, and then I cut some a little bit smaller. So I'm going to layer this on top of the spinach, and we'll just get that in there. And this is all going to cook, and then we'll mix it in later. So once I get my chicken all in there, ooh, messy fun. Get those hands in that chicken. Yummy, yummy. All right. Use clean hands, clean hands. A cook's best friend. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, we've all been washing our hands a lot this year. Some people who maybe never even thought about it. You ever run into those in the bathroom? First, some just walk out. Others just kind of toss their hands under the water and walk away or pretend to. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, I'm a nurse. Ew. All right, so this is kind of yucky, but I'm just going to wipe off the chicken here. All right, so that's done. Now the chicken probably needs a little bit of seasoning for itself, so I'm going back to my salt here. So I'm just going to put a little seasoning on top of my chicken there. This is actually a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm not adding too much. And we'll just put that there. And a little bit of the pepper. Woo! I ground it ahead of time just to make my life easy. There we go. Oh, that looks just perfect like that. Just to season our chicken. All right. And that is all we do for now. So we're going to take our beautiful Instant Pot lid and we put it on sealing. Here's our little sealing button. And we're going to put this on top now. Ooh, it's making its happy sound. So we have it on sealing. And this is all put together. I'm going to set this for manual, which is a pressurized thing. I'll just go forward in that. And then when this pressurizes, that little button's going to pop up. And then it'll count down to its time. But it takes a little while to heat up. So let me get nice and close and make sure I can see. I'm on manual here. And we're on 5. I'm going to do this for 6 minutes. And we'll just let that go. And when we come back, this should all be really good. Then we're going to add our Parmesan. there's its happy sound. So the Instant Pot's coming up to temperature, and then it's gonna pop its button, and in the meantime, I'm gonna clean things up. I'll finish up what little bit of rosé I have here. Happy New Year. We're gonna have chicken Alfredo with pancetta. Okay, our Instant Pot has popped its little button here, so it pressurized, cooked for 6 minutes. I gave it a little bit of time to naturally decompress. Oh, don't we all need to decompress? Here's to decompressing. I have very little bit of that rosé left. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so you can let it do a natural release of all this steam. So I'm going to now give it its release of the rest of its steam. We all need a little release and decompression. Just be careful, we're on sealing. We're gonna go over to venting, and I'm gonna keep my finger below this little button here because I don't wanna get steam on me. And we might go in some spurts here. Woo! Because when you have like a sauciness thing like this, sometimes it spurts out with the steam. Woo, it's going. We don't want it in the camera. So we'll give it a little cover. There we go. Ooh, I'll get like an Alfredo facial here. There we go. So now we'll let that vent. So it's decompressing, it's venting all that steam that's built up in there, and that'll keep on going until the little button pops down, and then that tells us it's safe to take off the lid. Oh, that's saucier, right? Saucy, kind of like me. So it's doing its venting thing. That little button should pop really soon. Oh, that's the end of that. But we have champagne for later. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna put in is a cup of Parmesan cheese, which is what I have here. This is grated Parmesan. Now you can get any of them, but some of them have all kinds of fillers, so I'm sure there's others, but this particular brand 4C is just cheese. It doesn't have cellulose powder or anything else in it. So it might be a little cakey when you first open it up. So I just pop out, there's a little sprinkle top, and then I put a fork in there and I get it all nice and mixed up, and that's our magic sound. Our button has popped down, which means we can take off the lid and see what's in here. Let's hope it's good and not all stuck together. Happy little sounds, and off comes the lid. Ah, ooh, smell that garlic. All right, I'm gonna give this a stir and make sure that our pasta, oh, it's not all stuck together, which is great. You know how I stirred it up so it was all separated, and of course we have some fat in there, so that'll keep it from, and you see the spinach all wilted down and the chicken all cooked into a nice little bit there. So this looks lovely already. So now I'm gonna add our Parmesan. This is about a cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm just gonna dump that right in. I have a little extra in case I need it. If it doesn't thicken up the way I want it to, I think I'm gonna use the spoon here for this. Just need something to hold on because that's hot. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. Ugh. So this will thicken up as the Parmesan cheese melts into our cream and all of our pasta there. So I'm just giving it a nice stir. Already looks great. Debate as to whether I want to put extra cheese in just yet, but I think what I'm going to do is just put the lid on for a second, and just not under pressure or anything. I'm just going to add the lid back on and just let it sit vented for a minute while all those flavors meld together as I have the spoon in my face. That's a pretty picture. There we go. So I'm just getting all these beautiful parts. You see the cheese is melting on that spoon there. I just want every delicious piece in there. So I'm gonna put the lid back on while this thickens up. I did turn the Instant Pot off because when it does its beepy thing after it's done cooking, it'll stay on low to keep things warm, but I don't want the bottom to get too hot here. So this is gonna be on its vented mode, and I'm just gonna put the lid on in the vented mode for a little bit and let all those flavors meld together. In the meantime, I'm gonna get us all set up for our Two Live TED tasting, and we have all our little things we're going to add here. Our pancetta, I've got a little fresh parsley, and we'll grate some Parmesan cheese, and we can even put a little more freshly ground black pepper on there. Ooh, sounds good. So I'll see you in a minute. Woo! We got a little Barefoot Bubbly for our tasting today.
Bubbly!
Woo! It's busy.
It's bubbly. Look
It's
at that.
bubbly. It is. Here, we can pour more in a minute. All right, so this has been sitting for a minute. And we got Ted here for the Two Live tasting for our Two Live Tasty Chicken Alfredo.
Two Live Tasty.
So this has been sitting for a bit to thicken up and get all its cheeses mixed in. So let me get our nice little pasta spoon here.
It looks delicious.
It does. Let me see if I think it's got enough cheese and it's all thick enough. Ooh, look at that. I think so. I had some extra cheese here. I could add more. We're going to put some on top. So I think we're okay for, oh, look at that Alfredo-y stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We got enough bubbly there?
Bubbly.
We're going to just do a little tasting on one plate here. So let me just get some good amount of chicken and pasta here.
I am salivating.
I bet you are. Oh, look at that.
We haven't had lunch yet. This is like,
and it's dinner time.
This is like, yeah, dinner time. We haven't eaten practically all day, so we're motivated and it's delicious. Oh.
All right, we'll just put a little on there. We'll eat some more later. Trust me, darling. Here, okay, we'll get to that later.
So what are you gonna have?
What do I get? This is just for our tasting. So we want to, here's your little bubbly. We want to finish this off with a couple of things. I'll start with some freshly ground black pepper. That's always good. Just a hint. Put that aside. I have got a little bit of fresh parsley I chopped that came from our berry patch farm. So I just give it a little sprinkling, just a hint. That's nice and strong. And then we have some more Parmesan cheese. This is Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm just going to give a little extra sprinkle on top, just for our finishing touch. It's enough for now. We'll do some more later, Ted, when we eat. And then the piece de resistance. Oh, this is Italian. Salute to the great thing we're going to eat here is
French, Italian, it's all the same.
Is our pancetta, which is all crispy and lovely, and that just goes on top as a beautiful salty crunchy garnish. My hands are all dirty again. Alrighty then. So we have a nice fork, and we could, I suppose, do a little salute.
Salute.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
A little drink. Oh, that's Barefoot
that's
Bubbly.
good.
That is good.
This has been in our refrigerator for about a year, but it still tastes good.
It still tastes good. It hadn't been opened yet.
It hasn't even been opened
Little
yet.
Barefoot Bubbly. So here, let's just make sure you get maybe some chicken and some bacon there. You got some chicken?
Yeah.
Got a little knob of chicken? I had a
A
spoon
little knob
here.
of chicken. Okay, hang on for a minute. We're going to
Your
feed each
chicken? You got
other.
bacon?
You know.
I don't know. We might make a mess if we just feed yourself.
Okay, you ready?
Chink.
1,
Two,
2,
three.
3.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. This is delicious. We need to eat the whole thing now.
Okay.
So,
We're
how
going
about-
to eat. We're going to sign off. Oh my goodness.
oh gosh.
Two Live Tasty Chicken Alfredo with pancetta. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're going to go feed our faces. Okay, this is delicious, dear. Mwah.
I think he's hungry.
Oh, yeah. This
Here
is
you
delicious.
go. Bye-bye 2020.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.
It is good. There you go.
Oh, God, that's
You want it?
delicious.
I will add a little more cheese for us.
Oh, wow. That's good wine. Where'd you get that?
It was, I think it was probably a gift.
Really?
Yeah.
Not so bad. Is it a wine or is it? I don't know what it is.
It was champagne.